Broadway.com. I'm Boggess, and I'm here to answer all of your questions. I played Sarah Brown in Guys and Dolls. I did that twice, actually. I did it once my senior year of high school and then once my sophomore year of college. I played Sonia in Godspell, which was really fun because I got to flirt with the audience and I learned how to do that in high school. And I was in Me and My Girl, and I was Huddle in Fiddler on the Roof, which was one of my favorites. I never really did community theater, but I encourage everybody who wants to be on Broadway someday or just be a performer in general to do as much as you can in your school. Be in school shows, be in school choir, in band, anything like that, because it really prepared me for what I do now. Ava, thank you for that question. It was so exciting for me that I got to do my first show on Heelys because I felt so prepared, having ice skated for 10 years before this. So that just felt really cosmic lucky that I got to do that. And so I didn't find it as difficult as I maybe could have found it. But it is very strange to learn how to balance on your heels and sing a song and try and look like you're swimming and have a nice port de bras. Shauna, really? What a very lovely question, because that happens to me probably a couple times a month, which is good because they're very delicate, these shells that I wear. And a lot of times in Positivity, when I fall onto Sebastian, then his arms would sometimes pop the shells off. And so I just simply put my legs up like this, and I turn up stage, and I have him just come over, and the audience doesn't know what's going on, they just think I'm looking at my feet, and I just snap the shells back on. But luckily they're made so well that if anything would ever happen, like they pop completely off, it would still be a family show. Caitlin, I've always loved Ariel, always. But I have to say that I'm a fan of pretty much every single Disney princess. My most recent love is Mulan. I think that she's a really cool girl. But I still am and was a huge fan of all the old Disney musicals and Disney movies. I loved Cinderella and I loved Sleeping Beauty. I thought she's so gorgeous, and I can't understand how she's 16 years old and looks like that. That just isn't really. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. She's so pretty. Dana, I first wanted to be an actress actually from doing competitions as an ice skater. I always loved, that's when I realized that I loved performing in front of people. So I don't remember the day that I decided I want to be on Broadway, but it's just kind of always been inside of me to be in front of people and perform and hear people applauding and stuff, and that all came from being an ice skater. My dream role, I actually have an interesting one. It's Lucy in Jekyll and Hyde. Isn't that interesting? And it's because I love Frank Wildhorn's music. I think that it's really, he writes kind of with a fifth gear. Like you really have to gear up to it. And I love the challenge of singing his songs. But that's the only role that comes to my mind as far as musical theater. But I'm a sucker for La Boheme, the opera. And I always have wanted to play Mimi. That won't happen because I wasn't a trained opera singer, but I will always, always love that and dream that maybe in my dreams then I'll play her. Megan, that's a very good question. I love talking about my time when I was on tour with Les Mis. It was one of the greatest learning experiences of my life and the most fun I've had with a company, being in the ensemble of a show. And going on as an understudy for the first time was unbelievable. And my parents had flown out to Washington, D.C., which is where I went on, to see the show. And they thought that I was in my normal track, The Hair Hag. and they didn't know that I was going on as Cosette, and so the first time they saw that I was on as Cosette is when they walked into the lobby and saw at this performance the role of Cosette will be played by Boggess. And they said they sat like this, like holding each other's hands, couldn't believe it. And I can't believe now that I did that, because that must have put so much more pressure on myself, but I didn't know any better. I was just excited for them, mostly to see me go on as Cosette. But it was really, really amazing. Robbie, pre-show rituals for me are a little random. I like to sing a little Britney Spears. I like to sing Britney Sings Broadway. I like to sing Britney Sings Phantom of the Opera songs. Just really any way that I can sing pop music before I go on. I don't really know why. I think just to be weird and funny. And I mostly go up to my father, Norm Lewis's room, and I do little skits for him and sing as Britney. A lot of times I sing Les Mis as Britney too. I reenact the whole thing, all parts. I like to do a little think of me as Britney, a little think of me fondly when we said goodbye. Little stuff like that. Andrea, I have a very simple answer for you, and that is Chef Louis. I really just make sure that I see my friends, and I am just very chilled out, that I don't really go out and act crazy or anything, because Monday is my only day off. So really just stuff like just chilling with friends and having soft conversations. I am the biggest Barbra Streisand fan that you will ever meet in the whole entire world. I know she's not on Broadway now and she's more of a movie star, but you know, if I could go back and see any show in time, I would have to see her do Funny Girl, because there isn't really, I've just learned so much from watching her, just in how she performs in movies and in her concerts and stuff, and that I would love. I love Patti LuPone. I think she's amazing, and I think that I wish so much that my schedule was not the exact same as hers so I could see her in Gypsy. Camille, that's a good question. The thing that I love about New York is how many different cultures there are here, how many different people live here from all walks of life. It's rare to actually, I've realized, to find a true New Yorker here, because most people have moved here because it's their dream, which I imagine a lot of people out there, that's your dream. I remember feeling like that too, but you can go anywhere at any time of the day or night and get food or anything that you really want, and people are so friendly here, and that's a huge misconception about New York, is that people are, you know, mean and push you over, things like that. But I find people are so friendly, and I love the community feel here. Marie, you must be a shopper yourself. Only another shopper would ask another shopper these questions. I love to shop at BB. I love to shop at Guess. And I love like little boutique-y places, which is another fantastic thing about living in New York. Because you can always find things that nobody else has. And I live on the Upper West Side, so I have some cute little boutique-y places that I can shop and find special things. And I love me some shoes. So any place where there's good shoes, that's where I will be. Erin, my favorite item in my dressing room is the fax that I received from Barbra Streisand on opening night of Little Mermaid, which was a huge surprise to me. I have it now framed, and it's telling me she's wishing me luck and that she remembers her opening nights. And I have that right next to my makeup station, so I look at it every single time before I go out on stage. It gives me such inspiration and strength. The other answer to that question is, currently I have a giant 8-foot tall snowman, a blow-up snowman in my dressing room because it's Christmas time. And I've been sort of putting it in people's dressing room, like Sean, my prince, had it in his dressing room. Tonight it's going right outside Sherry's dressing room so that when she walks out for places, it's going to be just standing in the doorway at her with the carrot nose. So that's a really good item that's in my dressing room right now. Chelsea, I love that question, and I ask people this all the time. But I would love to fly. There would be nothing better than flying. And I always ask people, would you rather be invisible or would you rather fly? Because those are my two things that I think would be really cool. But flying, for sure. I don't think I can just have one thing. There's so many amazing things, but definitely coming out from my bow at the end, hearing the music change into part of your world, which that song just holds so much love and passion that I feel when I sing that song and for the character. That's one of my favorite things, and hearing the people stand at the end, but also just getting to be on stage with these people, these other actors that I respect so much and that I look up to, and that we just really help each other through, and we're such a family, means the world to me. Paige, thank you for that question. I would love to do a solo CD. I've been thinking about it a lot. My grandma passed away a year ago, and she was a huge fan of 40s music, and she had the most beautiful love, still do, with my grandfather. And it's this 40s love that you rarely see anymore, and they were married for 70 years. And so on my solo CD, I want to honor her and their love, which gives me hope and love, by singing 40s music, songs like You'll Never Know, and things like that. So I love that music because my grandparents did, and so that's what I want to dedicate the CD to her, and I want to sing songs from the 40s. So thank you everyone for submitting your questions. They were so great. I loved answering them. And come and check out Little Mermaid whenever you're in New York. Bye.